I'm appalled and disgusted by what I've done.
A couple buries a child in their backyard. Another guns down strangers in a twisted crusade. A third dumps a teen in a shallow grave. These aren't horror tales, but real crimes of couples whose love turned lethal. When partners in murder face the gavel, their tears, defiance, and final kisses ignite courtrooms, leaving families shattered and judges shaken. Today, we unravel 3 gut-wrenching cases: Larissa and Christopher Rodriguez, Jeremy and Christine Moody, and Dia and Eric Millerberg, where killer couples' actions and words expose the chilling bond between devotion and destruction. These stories dig into the darkness where love meets evil, testing justice's power to heal.
And it's very hard. And I think you should be recognized more for the difficulty of what you do.
In September 2017, in Cleveland, Ohio, Larissa Rodriguez and her boyfriend, Christopher Rodriguez, breached the sacred trust of parenthood. Larissa's 5-year-old son, Jordan, who had special needs, arrived home unconscious after Christopher's brutal discipline. Instead of calling 911, Larissa gave him a cold shower and put him to bed. The next morning, September 22, 2017, Jordan was dead from blunt force trauma, his body bearing marks of prolonged abuse. Education stresses that child abuse often masquerades as discipline. Training caregivers to recognize signs like bruising or withdrawal could save lives. Rather than seek help, the couple wrapped Jordan's body in blankets and garbage bags, sprinkled mothballs to mask the smell, and buried him in their backyard, hoping to erase their crime. For nearly 2 months, they lied, with Larissa telling police Jordan was in Texas with his father. A tip from Christopher's brother in November 2017 exposed the truth, leading police to unearth Jordan's body. Laws under Ohio's revised code for involuntary manslaughter, ORC Section 2903.04, felonious assault, ORC Section 2903.11, child endangerment, ORC Section 2919.22, and abuse of a corpse, ORC Section 2927.01, carried heavy penalties. In Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court, both entered a plea deal, pleading guilty to these charges to avoid murder trials. On February 25, 2019, Judge Nancy Margaret Russo, visibly shaken, rejected the recommended 20 to 25 years. "This is one of the worst things I've seen in 22 years. You had every chance to get help." She sentenced Larissa to 25 years and Christopher to 28 years, consecutive, the consequence for their callousness. At sentencing, Larissa sobbed, "I'm not a monster," while Christopher stayed silent. Their final kiss before separation felt hollow against Jordan's family's wails. His siblings and grandmother mourning a boy whose life was stolen. The courtroom, heavy with Russo's rare tears, became a monument to a child's betrayal.
I think Jeremy and I would have done it again if given the opportunity.
Do you have any regrets?
I have no regrets. Killing that pedophile was the best day of my life.
On July 21, 2013, in Greenville, South Carolina, Jeremy and Christine Moody, a married couple steeped in neo-Nazi ideology, breached humanity's moral core. They targeted Charles Parker, 59, and his wife Gretchen, 51, after finding Charles on a sex offender registry. Driven by a warped belief that God demanded they cleanse society of pedophiles, they stormed the Parkers' home, shooting Charles in the head and Gretchen in the chest, killing them instantly. Education warns that extremist ideologies can fuel vigilante violence. Community programs and de-radicalization efforts could counter such radicalization. Surveillance footage in Jeremy's tattoos, skinhead across his neck, white power on his scalp, led police to their doorstep within days. In 2015, at their trial in Greenville County Circuit Court, the Moodys confessed, admitting they planned to kill more sex offenders. Laws under South Carolina's first-degree murder statute, SC Code Section 16-3-10, mandated life without parole for premeditated murder. They pleaded for mercy, citing repentance. "I know what I've done is a sin. God has forgiven me. Please let us grow together." Judge C. Victor Pyle Jr. was unmoved. If these two got out, they'd do it again. He sentenced both to life without parole, the consequence. Their courtroom remorse dissolved outside, where Christine declared, "That pedophile was the best day of my life," and Jeremy cursed the victim's family. May they die too. Their final kiss before separation mocked the Parkers' memory, whose daughter's sobs filled the courtroom. The scene, charged with hate and grief, underscored Justice's struggle against ideological evil.
I just want to say that I'm appalled and disgusted by what I've done.
On September 11, 2011, in Ogden, Utah, Dia and Eric Millerberg, a couple with a history of drug abuse, breached trust in the worst way. During a night of alcohol and drugs, they engaged in sexual activity with their 16-year-old babysitter, Alexis Rasmussen. Eric injected her with a lethal mix of heroin and methamphetamine, her third dose that night, leading to her overdose and death. Fearing Eric's return to prison due to his criminal record, they buried Alexis in a shallow grave in Morgan County. Education emphasizes that addiction can cloud judgment, leading to fatal mistakes. Access to treatment and oversight for at-risk households could prevent such tragedies. A tip from a confidential informant in October 2011 led police to Alexis's body. Under Utah's manslaughter statute, Utah Code Section 76-5-205. Obstruction of justice, Utah Code Section 76-8-306. And desecration of a body, Utah Code Section 76-9-704. Carried prison terms. Eric was sentenced to 6 years in 2014 after a trial. Dia, striking a plea deal to testify against him, faced sentencing in Weber County Court in 2014. She wept, "I'm appalled and disgusted by what I've done. I pray for forgiveness." Judge Brent West, acknowledging the case's gravity, sentenced her to 3 concurrent terms of 0 to 5 years, totaling 4 years and 2 months. Prison is appropriate. You can't fix this. Alexis's mother, Dawn Mira, cried out in court, her pain raw, "She was my baby." Dia's sobs and the family's grief turned the courtroom into a somber reflection of a life lost to recklessness. Larissa and Christopher Rodriguez's hidden grave, Jeremy and Christine Moody's hateful crusade, Dia and Eric Millerberg's deadly cover-up. These couples wove love into acts of unthinkable horror, their courtroom pleas and kisses of final defiance against justice. From a child's backyard tomb in Ohio to a neo-Nazi slaughter in South Carolina and a teen's shallow grave in Utah, their crimes tore through families like a storm. Judges, bound by law, delivered sentences, 28 years, life without parole, years in prison. But the wounds of Jordan, the Parkers, and Alexis bleed on. What binds couples to murder together? Can justice mend what love destroys? Subscribe and hit the bell for more chilling true crime tales. Comment below.